I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya.
It's a living document and we will adjust it.
Flagler County's path to reopening will be more clear once Governor Ron DeSantis announces his plan for next steps, expected later today. Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord says one thing is for sure, it'll be a new normal.
Wearing cloth face coverings in public may become a somewhat normal thing to see in public for people that are mildly ill or people with weakened immune systems. In Asia, you've seen that for decades. We may see that here in the United States as well.
He adds you'll likely see more hand washing stations in public venues and hand sanitizer on counters at businesses. What has the economic hit been on Flagler County from the COVID-19 shutdown? John Arking takes a look.
Flagler County Tourist Development Director Amy Lukasic said they have their preliminary numbers for March, which the county was open for half of that month, but still, it was an unprecedented loss.
We're pretty bad. It's definitely the worst case scenario. Occupancy was down 35% and revenue for bed tax were down. And these are the unaudited numbers, but they were down 37%. So we are anticipating April will be double that number. We're kind of in between. For March, the data that we have, we didn't do as bad as St. Johns County, but we didn't do as well as Daytona Beach. Their occupancy was down 51%.
Lukasic said that probably had a lot to do with Bike Week. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, the CDC and Flagler County health officials recommend you wear a face covering or cloth mask to prevent further spread of the virus. If businesses are having trouble acquiring masks, Flagler County can help. County Administrator Jerry Cameron says it had to scramble to provide for its own workers, and now they've got supply chains set up.
We have developed a list of sources, and the masks are now in heavy production, so they're becoming more and more available. If a business here has problems sourcing a mask, they'll get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with someone where you can purchase masks.
Masks can prevent droplet spread of the virus, but do more to protect those around you than yourself.
Social distancing is a term we hear a lot these days, and so far it's working.
Dr. Scott Cleos says that it's to cut down on the numbers of deaths and the time that we're spending at home.
We have significantly reduced the estimated deaths. We've reduced the peak illness estimate from mid-May to the end of this month. And in my opinion, we have to get back to our daily routine.
Cleos and his wife, Dr. Andrea Cleos, host The Doctor Is In on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 8:30 here on WNZF. Dr. Scott Cleos went on to say that social distancing cuts down on how the virus impacts society. He said we did not want to be like Italy, where thousands got sick and many died from COVID-19 because their hospitals were overwhelmed. Cleos said that neither social distancing nor wearing face masks would do in the coronavirus.
This is so prevalent in the population that there is no point in space-time that this is going to be eliminated from the population or the world.
Cleos said that the coronavirus is something that we're going to have to live with year after year. To listen to the entire interview, download the Flagler Radio app. That's where you can find the Free for All Friday podcast and the Doctor Is In podcast. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
A homeless sex offender is back behind bars, Tony Magoo reports.
The sex offender unit of the Flagler County Sheriff's Office got a tip that Brian Thomas Roy, 43, a registered sex offender, wasn't living at the transit residence he had listed on his paperwork. That is against the law. Plus, as a transit resident, Roy is required to report in person to the Sheriff's Office every 30 days, and he's not done that. He was living at a campsite on an island in the Intercoastal across from Bing's Landing. On April 21st, sex offender Detective Crosby partnered with the Marine Unit of the Sheriff's Department to locate Roy on the island. He admitted to missing his 30-day check-in at the Sheriff's Office, but claimed he was not living on the island, even though deputies found an elaborate campsite complete with a tent, generator, and other living accommodations. He was taken into custody and booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate facility and charged with failure to register. He remains in jail with no bond allowed. We have a final thought on his arrest from Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Let this be a reminder to sex offenders that we take your registration seriously, and if you fail to comply with Florida law, we will find you and arrest you.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.